Hi, I'm Steve Hines from Peak 15 Fitness, and I want to present to you an argument for eating organic food. Now, what we tend to hear in the press is about the nutrient density of organic food, and researchers will compare non-organic food to organic food, and the research is mixed on this. The Soil Association have produced a document which says that organic food is more nutrient dense in certain vitamins and minerals, where other systematic reviews and studies have presented research saying that organic food isn't more nutrient dense in vitamins and minerals compared to non-organic food. And we can understand why there's confusion when we think that there's many other factors that need to be taken into account here, such as the quality of the soil that these foods are grown in and the fertilizers that are used on the non-organic crops, for instance. But one thing that you can't refute is that non-organic foods are sprayed with pesticides, herbicides and fungicides. And there's over 400 different chemicals licensed to be sprayed on crops here in the UK, oftentimes in combination and several times. A field of wheat, for instance, can be sprayed 8 times from when it's sown to when it's harvested. So you get a chemical cocktail of these herbicides, fungicides, pesticides on the crops, and we're eating them. And what we're finding out now is that there's a huge body of evidence suggesting that these chemicals are contributing to insulin resistance and diabetes. These chemicals are estrogenic in nature, and what they do is we know that the beta cells in the pancreas have estrogen receptors, and if we're eating a lot of these non-organic foods with estrogens on them, they can continually drip feed and stimulate the beta cells of the pancreas to produce insulin, and this leads to hyperinsulinemia, and if this goes on for a long time it can really lead to insulin resistance and type 2 diabetes, and there's research out there to support this. Back in 2006 there was some research published showing that there was a striking dose response relationship between 6 pesticides and the incidence of insulin resistance and diabetes. So regardless of whether you think that organic or non-organic food is better for you in terms of nutrient density, one argument for definitely eating organic foods is to avoid these chemical cocktail of pesticides, herbicides, fungicides which are sprayed on these crops and which are essentially poisoning us. Bob Rakowski sums it up nicely when he says, if you're not eating organic food, you are supporting an industry that is poisoning every man, woman and child on this planet.